Hey everybody, today we are going to be drawing a baboon. Now, first thing you need to do is make sure that your paper is turned the tall way so that you have a nice tall baboon and you've got plenty of room to draw. We're going to start by doing a little bit of measuring, and we're also going to be drawing his snout first. So we're not actually starting with his head, we're starting with his snout. So we're going to go ahead and start by taking our hand, finding the top center of our paper, and we're gonna measure down about 1 hand from the top of our paper. So I'm gonna actually start drawing here under my thumb, and I'm gonna make a nice big oval under my thumb. So I'm gonna take my marker here, make a nice big oval. This is gonna be the end of his snout, or the bottom of his snout. All right, now I'm gonna take my hand out of the way. Inside of this, we're going to actually make his nostrils. So we're going to put 2 little frowns towards the top, and then we're going to make a line going all the way across for where his mouth would open. So far we just have his snout. Now we're going to go ahead and start working on where his eyes go and the details on his face. So we're going to make a line that starts towards the top corner of his snout, so not up here in the center, but kind of off to the side. And we're gonna make that line go up until we're about 3 fingers from the top of our paper, okay? We're gonna do the same thing on the other side. We're gonna come over to this kind of top corner, and we're gonna make that line go up till we're about 3 fingers from the top of our paper. Now to connect these, we're gonna make kind of a heart shape across the top of your paper, or between these 2 lines. So it's going to kind of curve up and then down and then back up again. And don't worry if it's not exactly even, it's okay. Now in the center of his face here, we're going to make kind of a triangle shape. So that's going to come up off the top of his nose, and it's going to go up towards the top of his head, and then it's going to come back down to the other side of his nose. That kind of divides it, and this makes it look like his snout. All right, on either side of that triangle shape, we're going to add the eyeballs, and we're going to keep the eyeballs pretty simple. We're just going to make some circles. And then inside of that, I like to leave a little reflection, so I'm going to make a second little circle. Remember, we don't color those in yet because we don't color with our pencil. All right, we're gonna put one on the other side of his head here and add a little reflection, just like that. All right, next, on the side of the baboon's face, we have just a little bit more of his face showing here. So starting at the top, I'm gonna make kind of a curved line that comes down to the side of his snout. And in here, I'm gonna add just a little bit of detailing. Just some lines across there. All right, I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to bring it down from the top of his head, and then I'm going to add some little detail lines, just like that. The next thing we're going to add to our baboon is actually the hair that comes out on the side of his face. And baboons can have some pretty crazy hair, so don't be afraid to make it kind of zigzaggy. But do remember that we're going to be cutting these out. So I'm going to actually start towards the top of my paper, not the top of his head, but towards the top of my paper, and I'm going to make this line kind of wiggly, just a little extra crazy, and then I'm going to bring it down under his chin. And I'll do the same thing on the other side. It's kind of wiggly and kind of crazy, and then bring it down until it touches. Above his hairline here, we're going to actually add his ears. So I'm going to put a little ear peeking out up here, maybe the inside of it. Don't fill that in because we don't color with our pencils. And then another one on this side, and just a little bit showing through on there. All right, that looks pretty good for his face. I'm ready to start his body next. Now we're gonna make sure that his body comes all the way down to the bottom edge of our paper. So important. Your baboon might be a little bit taller or a little bit shorter than mine, but you've gotta make sure these lines come all the way down to the bottom. So I'm gonna start right around here, the bottom side of his head, and I'm gonna bring that line all the way down and do the same thing on this side. Now baboons have arms that are pretty long and skinny. So I'm gonna take about 1 finger of space here And I'm gonna bring my line in and up pretty high, about that far. We want it to make it look like he's got a nice long arm. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. I'm gonna go about 1 finger in, and I'm gonna bring that line up pretty high up so it looks like he's got his shoulders. Now to make his chest come across here, I'm just gonna kind of connect those lines with a bit of a curve. He looks like he's walking towards us. If you want to add some little fingers down here at the bottom, you can. Make him look like he's got little fingers, kind of grabbing the ground. Now we're going to make the back legs on him, and we only see part of them. So we're going to come up a little higher, and I'm going to see just a little bit of this leg, and then it's going to go up. I might see a few of his little fingers there. On this side, the legs are going to come over, or the leg is going to come over, and then it's going to come all the way up till it touches this back edge of his head, and I can add a few little fingers on there as well. Now for his tail, baboons have pretty long tails, and they can kind of go up away from his body this way, or they could curve down. It's up to you how you want to do it, but we want to make it look kind of like, almost like a worm coming out of the back of him. So I'm going to make mine kind of go up. I'm going to make it kind of curve up and away, and then I'm going to bring it back. I got to double that line and bring it back like that. So they can curve up or down. It's totally up to you what you want to do. All right, friends, I am done with my baboon. I am ready to start adding color. I know yours look great. Good job today.